I have shared the YouTube link for a reference in the chat. I will add the same in the calendar letter. Okay. So today's agenda is we will see the basics of Jinja templating. So we will first start with format string, then we will see Jinja templating, string module, everything. Okay. So so far in weeks 1 and 2, in week 1 we have seen the basics of architecture, basics of web app, everything. Okay. In week 2 we have seen how to create static HTML pages. Okay. Now in week 3 we will see how to create dynamic HTML pages. Okay, with the help of Jinja. So I will first start with very basics. So suppose I will tell you the concept first. Suppose we have a class of say we have 50, a group of 50 people, and I want their name, place and profession. Okay. So I want something, I want some structure by which I can take their data. Suppose if I want to create a static HTML web page for all these 50 people, so I have to create one by one for each person. But suppose I have some sort of basic structure such that I have no, I'm not sharing the screen right now. Okay. What I was saying. Suppose I have 50 people and I want to create static web page for them. So, and I want the data as name, place, and profession. Suppose I don't know any type of templating engine, or at this point I don't know anything. So far we have learned how to create static HTML pages. Now I want to create profile page for these 50 persons, which gives basically their name, place, profession. So what I will have to do, I will have to create 50 different HTML pages, right? Would it not be good if I have some sort of templating engine, or I have some basic structure of the format which takes name, place, and profession, and according to the data, according to the person, it simply uh, uh, changes the data. Meaning, I have a basic structure with the help of single template. I want that according to the data, that templates gets varied and it generates different 50 HTML pages. It will be good, right? Because otherwise I will have to create different 50 HTML pages for each person. So this templating engine that we are using, we call it as Jinja. So I will first start with very basics of this string templating. Let me first share my screen. Okay, we will first start with the string templating. I mean format string. This is very basic form of formatting. Okay. So here, suppose I take variable as name.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can you zoom little bit?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Suppose I take variable as name as Shivani. We will use f string. Okay. In case of format string, we use single curly bracket. Okay. Now, here I am using format string. So this is my variable over here. I want to change the data at this place. So you can, for this, in case of format string, we use single curly bracket. So you can consider it as a container or a placeholder which stores the value name. So you can consider it as a container with name, and it according to the data, it will take the values. Okay. Now when I run this, it gives me output as my name is Shivani. Okay. Now, if I will change the data, now here, suppose if I change the name and I save it, so it will give me the output as my name is Shiv. Okay, so this is a very basic form of formatting. Kaudinne, can you please drop off and join by your official email ID? You have joined by your personal email ID. Okay, this is a very basic form of string formatting. Now we will think, if we already have this template, like we have this formatting, then why do we need Jinja? We need Jinja because it gives programmatic nature. Like with the help of Jinja, we can run for loops, if else condition. That's why we are using Jinja. So basically in today's session we will see very Jinja in very simple terms, as simple as possible. Okay, so I will tell you in a very simplified manner. Later we can, with the help of examples, we will clarify it. Okay, so this is very simple form of formatting with the help of format string. Okay, now we will see Jinja. Now for Jinja, on your terminal you will have to type, this is external module, so you will have to type pip install Jinja2. Okay, you will have to type this in terminal, then it will install Jinja2. After that, from Jinja2 you will have to import template. Okay, so now suppose what I said, that I want name, place and profession of 50%. Now for example here I will take name as, okay. So in Jinja basically we see this in three steps. In first step we create some sort of text. In step number 1 we create some sort of text. Suppose I have created this text, my name is name, I live in place, and I am a this so here we have these three variables: name, place and profession. So in case of format string we use single curly bracket, but in case of Jinja we use double curly bracket. So these are basically placeholders, or you can consider it as a container with name. This name is variable and data will be manipulated at these places denoted by curly braces. Okay, so data will be manipulated. Ashish, can you please drop off and join from your official email ID? You have joined from your personal ID. Please join from your official email ID. Okay. So these are my variables and data will be manipulated at these points. Okay. So step 1 is to create some sort of text. So we have created some sort of text. And in the text I have my name is name, I live in place, and I am a profession. So I have three variables: name, place and profession. Okay, now step number 2 is to convert it into template. I will tell you why. In step number 2 we convert it into template. For that we write t equals to template, and here you can write it like this, or simply you can write it like this. Here I will write it as temp. Step number 1 is we create some sort of text, then we convert it into template. After that, in step number 3 we render it with data. So here I will have to write output equals to okay. In temp, I have stored my text. This is step number 1. In step number 2, I am converting it into template. That is, I have stored in variable made underscore temp. I am converting it into template. Okay. And in step number 3, I will render it with data. For this purpose, I will use render template function. Now inside this render function, I will have to pass the values. So I have 3 variables. For simplicity, maybe I will take only one. Let me comment this. Okay, I will take only one variable for. Okay, right now I have only one variable. Now, this is my step number 1. This is my sort of text. In this line, I am converting it into template. Now, I am rendering it with the data. So, this is render. We use render function for that. Now, inside this, we have to pass the data. So, I will write my variable is name. So, I will write name equals to name. Now, here we have these two names. So, you can remember it like this. Suppose if I write x equals to 8. So, here this is my value and left hand side is my variable. I'm still in call, right? I'm audible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can remember it like this, x equals to 8. So here 8 is the value and x is the variable. Similarly, this name denotes the variable in Jinja template and this name denotes the data. You can remember it like this. So left hand side is the variable that we are using in our Jinja template and right hand side is the data that we are passing. So we are passing the data as name equals to Shivani, right? So when I render it, so I want to display this output, right? So for that I will have to use print output. Okay. When I save this and when I run in this, so it is giving the output as my name is Shivani. Okay. Now suppose if I change the name, I can change the name from here or directly I can change the name from here. Now suppose if I give the name as Shivam, it is giving me the output as my name is Shivam. Okay. Now we will take 3 variables. Now we will take this example. Now inside this text, I have 3 variables, name, place and profession. Okay. So now here I will write name equals to name, comma, place equals to place, comma, profession equals to profession. Okay. I have these 3 variables, name, place, profession. So I am giving values to each variable. Name equals to name. So this left hand side are the variables used in Jinja and this right hand side are the data that I am passing. Okay. Okay. So here I have these 3 variables, name, place and profession, which has this data. Shivani, place as Delhi, profession as course instructor. So I am passing that data inside this render function. So now when I run this, I will first save this. Now when I run this, so it will give me output as my name is Shivani. I live in Delhi. I am a course instructor. Till this point, is it clear or any doubt in this question? Like till this point, is it clear or shall I explain it again? Up to this point, it is clear, right?
Ma'am, clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear, ma'am.
It's clear, right? Okay. Now, what happens? Suppose here I have these three variables, and if I don't pass value, if I don't pass value, for the variables, now here I have three variables, and if I don't pass, I am passing value for only one variable, we will see what happens. Here you will see that it is printing my name is Shivani. I live in dot, like it has kept that variable as blank, and I am a blank. Okay. So if in case of Jinja, if you don't provide value to the variable, it will simply keep it as blank. It will not throw error. While in case of string, that is string module, string templating, if you don't pass the value, it will throw error. We will see that later. Okay. So in case of Jinja, what we did, basically we first created some sort of text, that is step number 1. In step number 2, we convert it into template. Okay. In step number 3, we render it with data. Okay. These are the simple steps that we follow. Now this is a certain text only. It has its this double curly braces has meaning only after it is converted into template. Now if I print this temp, it will, let me comment this, or else I can write it over here. Okay. So this double curly braces have meaning only after it is converted into template. If I print temp, you can see it will print as it is. Okay. It has meaning only after it is converted into template. Now we will see how to use for loop in Jinja.
Ma'am,
Yes.
what is the difference between the placeholder single bracket and double bracket?
Basically, they are same. In case of format string, we use, it is a syntax. In case of format string, we use single curly bracket, and in case of Jinja, we use double curly bracket. It is a syntax.
Okay.
Okay. Now we will see how to use for loop in Jinja.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I understand that code, but I have a doubt of what is the use of this Jinja? Where we will use this?
See, right now we are not aware of Flask, okay? Once we will learn Flask, so you will see we will create, as I gave the example, that if I have 50% and if I want to create web pages of 50%, so now 50% will have different data, right? If I want to create HTML or profile page for them, so if I'm not aware of Jinja, I will have to create 50 HTML pages, static HTML pages for them. But if I'm aware of Jinja, so you can consider it from this example, the concept that here, if I have some sort of structure and if I am able to use some sort of variable or placeholders, which will just simply manipulate the data at that point, then with the help of single code, I am able to generate different 50 HTML pages. So right now we are not aware of Flask. So in case of Flask, what we'll do, we will create a variable called
Hello.
Ma'am, you are not
Ma- Not
audible.
and
audible.
according,
Yes, ma'am.
yes,
He was not
yes,
audible just 2 seconds before.
uh, is it fine now? Is it
Yeah,
better now?
now
Ma'am,
it's perfect.
50.
Is it
Yeah,
fine now?
you were giving 50. Yes, yes.
Not able to hear you, ma'am.
Okay, I was saying, suppose if I have 50 persons, now
Ma'am, your voice is
Ma'am,
breaking.
again you are not audible.
Is it better?
Ma'am, in between the voice is breaking.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, just give me a minute. I will change my network. Yeah, just give me a minute.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
ma'am.
still not audible.
No, no, it's
It
audible.
should be better
It's
now.
perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I gave you the example. Yes, Vivekanand.
Ma'am, how much you
Uh,
completed? You joined here now.
uh, I just covered the basic of Jinja, how to use Jinja and format string. Maybe you can go to the YouTube and take a look at that. Or okay, I will just explain it. So in case of format string, this is a very basic type of formatting. So you have this variable, and for format string, you write F at start. Then inside the quotation, we write the text and a variable. So in case of format string, we use single curly bracket. Now this will act as a variable. Okay, so data will be manipulated at this point. So this is just like a placeholder or a container which will hold the value, and the value is I mean the variable is name. So when the name of this variable is changed, the data is changed, the the output will also change. Okay, so when I run this, it will give me output as my name is Shiv. Now if I change the value from here, it will show the output as my name is Shivani. So this is very basic form of formatting. Okay, but this is not sufficient for us because we need to use for loops, because it does not have any programmatic nature. We need to use for loop, if else condition in our program, and we want to manipulate data accordingly. That's why this format string is not enough. That's why we use templating engine, that is Jinja. So basically what this Jinja is doing, it creates some basic form of structure, and it has variables, and we can manipulate the data at these places. Okay, as I said, suppose I have 50 persons and I have their data as name, place and profession, and if I want to create 50 different HTML pages for them, if I want to create profile page from them for them, so I will have, if I had knowledge of only static web pages, how to create static web pages, then I will have to create 50 different static web pages for them. But if there is any possibility of having a simple basic structure, and we are able to manipulate the data according to each person, that will be good, right? So in that case, we will only have one basic structure, and according to the data, it will be manipulated. So I don't need to create 50 different HTML pages. Or I will give one more example. uh, are you aware of mail merging? Okay, there is this term mail merging. So what happens, basic structure is given, and according to the data, it sends a mail to different people at a time. Okay, this is also kind of concept related to Jinja, like you can compare it with that. Now right now we are not aware of Flask. So what will happen in case of Flask, we will use template, we will use HTML pages. So inside that HTML pages, we will use Jinja. Now, we will use render template function to render that HTML template. Now, according to the data, it's get manipulated automatically, and it gives the rendered HTML output with new data. Okay, I will also explain this. Now, for the basics, we have started with a very simple example. So here, for this, you will have to install Jinja2. So from that you will have to import template. Here I have three variables: name, place, and profession. So the step one is to create some sort of text. So here this is my text. My name is Shivani. My name is name. I live in place and I am a profession. So these are my three variables. I want to manipulate the data at these places. Okay. So step one is to create certain sort of text. Step two is to convert it into template. Then in step 3, we render it with data. So we have this sort of text. Now with the help of template function, we are converting it into template in step number 2. In step number 3, we are rendering it with data. So here, while using this render function, you have to pass the value of variables inside this function. Okay, when I pass the value, so here, let me just comment this. So now this is my text. It has only one variable. Now in step number 2, I am converting it into template. Now in step number 3, I am rendering it with data. So I have this variable name and I am passing the value to this variable with this name. I have this name which stores the data Shivani. Okay. You can compare it with like this. Suppose if I am writing x equals to 8, so here it means x is the variable and 8 is the value. So you can consider it like this. So left hand side is the variable that we are using in Jinja and right hand side is used to pass the data to that variable. Now after that I want to display the output, so I am using print output. Now when I run this, it gives me the output as my name is Shivani. Till this point we have covered. Okay. So now this text can be HTML as well. Okay. Now I will write over here. Now this
Ma'am,
text can be HTML as well. Yes.
sorry, ma'am. I just had this doubt. Instead of making another variable made underscore temp, can't we store it in the same variable? Is it possible?
Yeah, that also you can do. Not an issue.
It will not be an issue, right?
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Now here, let me just copy this. Now that text can be any sort of HTML text as well. Okay. So I will take, okay, this text can be anything. Now this text can also be an HTML text. Okay. Now after that we have this sort of text. After that we will convert it into template. Now we will render it with the data. Now when I save this file, when I run this, now observe this. Again I got the HTML and it has manipulated the data at this point. Here
Ma'am,
inside this, all these three yes.
excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, sorry to interrupt. Ma'am, how much have we progressed? Yet I joined a bit late. Sorry for that.
I already explained it twice, so maybe I have
Okay, ma'am.
shared the
I'll
YouTube link in the chat.
yeah, I will
Yeah,
watch the recording. Yeah.
okay.
So what I need to do so that I can understand onwards from now onwards.
Okay, I will explain you just this part. Okay. So in case of Jinja, basically we have these variables. We do it in 3 steps. In first step, we have certain sort of text. After that, we convert it into template. And after that, we render it with data. These are the 3 steps that we do in Jinja as of now. Okay. After that, you can watch the session in YouTube. Okay. To get the
Okay,
better
ma'am.
understanding.
Yeah.
So it will
Ma'am,
manipulate the
excuse me.
data over these variables.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in this file,
Yeah.
we don't need to do pip install Jinja again.
Yeah, you will have to do pip install Jinja2. No, it's like you have done it for the first time, right?
Okay,
It's not
so
related to file. If you do it on terminal or command prompt, it will install the Jinja2. So you don't need to. We just have to import it from Jinja2. You have to import template. This thing you have to do in every file.
okay, that
Okay.
thing only once. Pip install only
Yeah.
once. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Pip install Jinja2, that you have to do only once to install Jinja2. Now it will manipulate the. So in case of Jinja2, we use double curly brace. Uh, Someone is on unmute. Okay, thank you. Now, in case of Jinja2, we use double curly braces. So, interpolation will happen at these places where we have this double curly braces. So, data will be manipulated at this point. So, what I said, this text can be any HTML or text also, okay? So, here you will see that it has manipulated the data at these places, okay? Let me run it again. Now, when I copy this, now when I render this, I am getting the output as Shivani, Delhi, and course instructor. Now, if I change the data, now here, if I change the data, now it will render the data according to the data that we have passed, right? So I had a basic structure. Only by the change of data, I am getting different HTML rendered. Okay. So here right now, I am copying the data, like I am just running the file over here. Then I'm copying this output, then I'm rendering it. But while we will learn Flask, so inside this HTML, this file will be a part of HTML inside the templates folder. And with the help of render template function, inside that render template function, we will pass the data, and directly with the help of render template function, it will, what it will do, it will come to this point directly. It will directly render that template for me according to the data. So what I said here, we had only one basic structure. With the help of this basic structure, according to the data, we are simply generating different HTML pages, right? Now again, if I change the data, it will give me different HTML page. So here I am not writing everything from the scratch. Are you getting this point? I am not writing anything from the scratch. I have this basic structure, and as and when I change the data, I am able to generate new HTML page. As I said that right now we are not aware of Flask, that's why I am doing it manually. But once we are aware of Flask, it will be done automatically. The moment we change data, different HTML page will be generated, so I don't need to write everything from the scratch. I have this basic structure, and according to the data it is creating different HTML page. So this is the importance of Jinja. So right now I'm just taking the basics. While we will take the problem statement in open session, you will get a better understanding of this. Okay. Now here I'm doing it manually. In case of that problem statement, we will use file handling. Okay. Is this concept clear? How Jinja, how we are using Jinja to manipulate the data, and why we are using Jinja, is it clear?
Ma'am, we are rendering this page and then going to another HTML page to. I'm not
That's what
getting.
I said right now. Suppose what I said right now, I am not aware of Flask. Okay. When we will learn Flask, what will happen? This will be a part of this text, will be a part of HTML template. So it will be this HTML code will be part of templates folder. Inside the templates folder, we will store this HTML document. So this is Jinja. So now in my app.py document, I will simply write render template, the name of the file followed by the data. So in one step, it will directly render the data. It will directly render the HTML file along with the new data. Okay, right now I'm showing it manually, but are you getting this point? If I change the data, I'm getting different output. Is this clear? If we change the data,
Okay.
it is giving
Yes.
me different output. So the basic structure is remaining same. Like if I want to, in the first case, I took data as Shivani, the place was Delhi, and profession was course instructor. Okay. And I generated this HTML page. Okay. In second case, I simply manipulated the data, and again I created the HTML page. So what was the change? Only I changed the data. Did I write everything from the scratch? No, only
No.
the data was changed. So this is, I'm telling you in the very from in a very simple terms. This is just basics. When we will see the problem statement, you will get better idea of this. And after that, when we will learn Flask, you will understand it how it is generating automatically. Okay, right now
Uh,
I am doing it manually. Okay,
Ma'am,
so as of
Ma'am,
now, just think. Yes.
ma'am,
once the data is changed, we are
Hmm.
again copying this and making another HTML file to render this change, or it
Yeah.
will uh, the earlier also we used this template only and rendered it, and then
Hmm.
after changing we again have to copy this and render that.
Yeah.
That's what is happening, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Because this is not changing na, name, place and profession is not changing, but we have to copy it again and then making.
That's what I said. Right now, I'm doing it manually. Okay. You agree that according to the data, it is generating different HTML. Okay. Right now, I have this name, place, and profession as Shiv, Chennai, and analyst. Okay. When I run this, I'm getting this HTML page. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Now, if I change the data from here, will I get different HTML page?
No, ma'am.
Why no? Here, here I'm writing Shivani, Chennai. Say here, I will write course instructor. Okay. Let me save this. Now, this is my basic structure. Okay. Earlier,
Yes.
I had the data as Shiv, Chennai, and analyst. So it gave me output as this file with data as Shiv, Chennai, and analyst. Okay. Now I
Okay.
change the data. Now it will generate the HTML file according to this data. Now when I run this, can you see the change? This
Yes.
data has, all the basic structure is remaining same, but this data has changed. So
Okay, ma'am.
yeah, so to create this another HTML file, was I writing everything from the scratch?
No, ma'am.
No, I simply used the Jinja templating and it created different HTML, completely different HTML page for me. Similarly, again, if I change the data, again it will create different HTML page.
Now
Got the
I got
idea?
it. Yes, ma'am.
Got the idea?
Thank you. Yes,
So
Ma'am,
yes.
right now we are only using this three variables, and this HTML is also very simple. But when we will see Flask, you will see, or in the Victory open session, we will have the data which will have product ID, uh, like a data, and we will manipulate that data. At that point, I will show you how Jinja is very helpful. It will save a lot of space, and it will save a lot of work for us. At that time, it will be more clear to you. Yeah. Someone
ma'am,
has a
Ma'am,
doubt?
ma'am.
Yes.
yes, ma'am. I have one doubt. Like you said that we can create 50 HTML pages for
Mm-hmm.
different 50 people. So even
Yeah.
can CSS can be used in with the help of Jinja, or how the things will work? Because 50 different people will use different colors and all that thing. So how can we use CSS also in this way?
You are you are confusing it with. I'm not talking about the aesthetics right now. I'm talking about the basic structure.
Huh, yes, ma'am.
You can do
That I
multiple
got,
things.
but that I got your point. But can we
Mm-hmm.
think of like in applying CSS to 50 different sites? Is that possible?
Yeah, then we will have to design template in that manner. That is also possible. Then you will have to design template in that manner.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, Saubhagya?
Ma'am, you said that using Jinja, if you change some values, it will make completely different HTML pages. So
Hmm.
those pages will be stored somewhere, na?
See, I will tell you. Right now, we are not using Flask. Okay, while using Flask, what will happen? We will have a templates folder, and inside the templates folder, we will have our HTML document similar to this. Okay, here I have written this text. So this will be one HTML document, meaning just like this test.html. Okay, now inside my app.py, inside my app.py, I will use render template function, followed by I will pass data. So generate, it will render the newly generated HTML according to the data. So it will do all these steps all at once. Okay, right now I'm showing it manually, but while learning Flask, all these steps will be done automatically. At that time, we will be storing this template inside the templates folder. But right now, we are not aware of Flask. That's why we are doing it like this. So these are the basic steps that we are following. So here we are taking it as a text. After that, we are converting it into template. After that, we are rendering it with data. So while we will learn Flask, all these three steps will be done all at once. Got it?
Okay, so it means that basically it will be done dynamically.
Yeah.
We do not need to have any interference in that.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Okay.
we will when we will
Now,
Flask, in which week 3 only?
next week only. In
Oh,
next week, we will learn the basics of Flask, and in week 5, we will learn about the databases,
okay.
and we will go in depth of Flask. Okay.
Mhm.
Ma'am,
Now,
hello, ma'am.
yes,
For the
yes.
completion of project, we have to
Hmm.
learn up to which week?
Up to week 5 for core requirements. So
Up to
in week 2, you have learned basics of HTML, CSS. In week 3, we will learn Jinja. In week 4, we will learn basics of Flask. In week 5, we will learn Flask SQL Alchemy. That is database, how to create database and models. So till week 5, knowledge is sufficient to do the core requirements. Okay.
then week 6 to week 12 will be what are the content from week 6 to
APIs, APIs, then validation, then logging, security, all these things we will learn after week 6. But if you
okay.
want to focus on core
Then
requirements, the knowledge till week 5 is sufficient.
okay.
Okay. Now we will see how to use for loop in Jinja. I will rename it. Let me just copy this. Okay, not required. Now suppose I take data as, this is a list. Now for loop, we use this syntax. The single curly bracket, then this percentage sign. Inside this we write for, say, item in data. If you want to display this, how we do it? We use double curly braces, right? After that, we use and for. So this is the way of writing for in case of Jinja. We use single curly bracket. After that, we use percentage sign. And in case of Python, we don't end. We use this and for. But in case of Jinja, you have to write and for. Okay. So in case of for loop in Python, we don't use and for, but in case of Jinja, this is just like a block. So when you start this block here, you have to end this block. So if you are using for in case of Jinja, you have to use this and for. Okay, this is my step number 1. Now in step number 2, I will convert it into template. Okay, this is my step number 2. I am converting it into template. Now in step number 3, I am rendering it with the data. Okay, and in step number 4, I am printing the output. Okay, so how it will work? For item in data, it will take the item one by one. Here item denotes the each entity inside my data variable. So inside the data I have 3 elements. So now it will take each element one by one and it will start printing it. Now if I save this, now when I run this, you will see it is printing analyst, programmer, developer, but you will see it is taking some spaces because here this is my template and here I'm printing at this line, but below that line I have the spaces. Here I have one space, after that for this line I have this space. That's why it is taking the spaces in between the output. After that it will again run this for loop. Again it will print programmer. So again one space is coming because of this for line. Accordingly it is taking spaces and it is printing output as analyst. After that it is going to programmer. After that it is printing developer. So one by one it is going inside the data and printing the values according to the indices. Now this is how we use for loop in Jinja. Clear? Is it clear? Now it is working?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
excuse
can
me.
you explain once more?
Okay. So what happens while we use loop? It prints the value inside the data one by one, right? Similarly, in case of Jinja, here if I write it like this, it will print the value, right? If I want, here we have seen, right? We have taken the variable and it takes the value and it prints the value at this place. Similarly, here we are taking this variable. Now I am writing for item in data, print this item, then end for. So it will go to first analyst, it will print analyst. It is printing analyst over here. Then it will go to the value programmer, that is item number 2. It is printing programmer. Then it went to third value developer and it printed developer. Is it clear? So one by one, it will print the data.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
why there is a space?
Because here this is my part of text. This is my text. Okay. Now I'm converting it into template. But it is printing value at this place only. Here we have these empty spaces over here. It is not printing anything in this line. It is printing only in this line. So there are two lines which are blank while rendering the data. That's why it is taking that blank spaces. Okay.
Ma'am, the
Now,
indentation is important
no,
here.
indentation is not important, but it is better to give indentation for our understanding. It is not required in
Okay.
HTML or in case of Jinja, but it is better to
Ma'am,
give. Yes,
the three chords is necessary.
uh, because this is a multi-line string. That's why we need three double quotations. Had
Okay.
it been written in single line, we would have used single quotation. But here this is multi-line string. That's why we are using this triple quotations. Okay.
Ma'am, the three single quotes will also work, right?
Yeah, that will also work.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Now we will see how to
Hello,
use.
ma'am. Hello,
Yes.
ma'am. Is there any way that we can print the output in one line?
If you write, I don't wanted to tell you, but if you write minus over here, so it will remove all the spaces before this output. If I save this,
Can you please run this? Yeah.
yeah. So it removed the spaces
No,
in
ma'am.
the output.
The output will be in one line: analyst, then programmer, then developer. Is
Yeah.
there any,
You
is
can
there any
also
way?
do it like this. If you take it in single line,
Yeah.
okay. So right now it doesn't matter how many spaces you give inside the block. Okay, this is my block. I'm giving space over here. It doesn't matter how many spaces I'm giving inside this block. It matters how many spaces we are giving after this block. Okay. Now right now there is no space over here. Okay, there is no space after this block. Let me save this and show you. Right now there is no space, so it is printing the output one beside each other. Okay, now if I give space over here
Yeah.
and if I save it, what happened? So it is printing the output one beside each other. But if I give space in front of item, now it is taking space at start
Yeah.
of every item. Okay, if I write comma over here, it will take comma
Yes.
after each item. Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
now we will see
Ma'am,
how to use if. Yes.
ma'am, one question. We understood the for loop, but generally the for loop is very simple in Python. Now
Hmm.
we are using Python to write something so that Jinja will understand it, and we are making it complicated. So why not do it in Jinja's language only? There, if
This
there
is
is some
Jinja language only. This is not Python. This is Jinja.
okay. So is there a editor for Jinja where we can directly write the Jinja for loop or something like that? So what I mean to say is, if we can do something in Jinja, why are we adding the layer of Python to it? As such, we are passing this for loops entire statement to Jinja and telling
Where
Jinja
are
what
we
to do.
using Python? This is Jinja only.
No,
We are
ma'am,
not
your
using
file is
Python.
.py, no?
Yeah. Basically, Jinja is templating engine. It is related with both Python and Flask. You will get better understanding later. It is kind of, you can say, it is part of both Python file as well as Flask file, as well as Flask. It is somewhere in between, so it understand.
Okay.
So what I will say, we will write inside the Python file, but it will also manipulate the data. So it is somewhere related with both Python file and Flask. So you will get the better understanding later. What I meant to say. Okay.
Okay, okay, ma'am. No, just
Now we
we
will
thought
see. Yes.
these statements looked very complicated. Otherwise, the for loop and all was simple in Python.
This
So
is syntax for
that's why I
Jinja.
asked.
Yeah, this
Okay,
is
ma'am.
syntax for Jinja. Okay.
No, not the
So
entire thing. No,
we are,
percentage is also part of Jinja syntax. This
yeah, all
percentage.
this thing is part of Jinja.
Okay, I thought since we are writing that string in Python, we are quoting it
No, no,
for
no.
Jinja to
This is
understand.
syntax
Okay.
for Jinja. This is how you write for loop in Jinja. It is not something that something is written is Python and we are converting it into Jinja. No, this is code for Jinja only.
Jinja. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will see how to use if else in Jinja. Let's take variable sub equals to same add one. The first step is to create text. Insert this again. We are using a block. So here we will write percentage sign. Now we will write if one in sub, if this condition is true, I want to print this is how you write if else in Jinja. Again we will use single curly bracket. Inside this we will use this percentage sign. This is how I write my condition if I'm using condition if one is present in my subject or not. Okay, that is variable sub. If one in sub, I want to print the course is sub, else I want to print the course is different. Okay, so here I will write this is my first step. This is my second step. I will convert it into template. In my third step, I will render it with data, and after that I will print the output. Okay. Now, when I run this, I will first save this, and when I run this, now you will see 1 is present in mad1. That's why my condition is true and it should print the course is mad1. Now when I run this, it is giving the output as the course is mad1. But now suppose if I change the condition, now if condition is getting false, so it will run the else part. So the answer should be the course is different. So it is giving me the output as the course is different. This is how we use if else in Jinja. Now we will see how to use both for and if, that is looping and condition, in same problem. So I will take one more example.
Ma'am, here
Hmm?
in the made temp is equal to template and in bracket temp. So
Yeah.
for we are only passing temp. So whatever is between these three quotes is
Hmm?
only going to the template function in the Jinja
Yeah.
package.
Yeah.
But sub is in the this Python file. Mad1 sub is equal to mad1 is in this. So once it goes to the template package, how does he know about sub?
You are complicating things. That what I said, that Jinja understands by itself. I'm writing inside the Python file, but Jinja understand that this variable here I'm passing the value at this point, right? And it is taking the value from this sub equals to mad1 Python file. So Jinja understands by itself. So here this is my variable of Jinja, but here I'm giving the value as sub, and this sub is written inside my Python file, right? So
Okay,
Jinja
ma'am.
is aware of it. That's what I said. Don't complicate it. Like you can consider it Python, Jinja and Flask. They are same family members. They know each other. You can consider it like this, okay? Like they are aware of each other. They are interrelated.
No problem, ma'am. We understand the classical programming, so that's why the doubt came. If only temp is going to
Okay.
Jinja's packet, then where is the sub going?
Hmm.
Okay. Anyways, the output
Yeah.
statement is making it little bit clear. Uh,
Okay. So here this is
okay.
my variable in Jinja, and here I'm passing the value. It is taking value from here. Okay.
Okay,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
Now,
ma'am,
yes.
if else is okay, but why we are using end if?
Here, as I said, when we used for, we used and for, right? This is syntax in Jinja. So if you use this if block, you will have to end if. You will have to use end if. This is the syntax in Jinja. Okay.
Okay,
Now
without
we will
that
use,
it will not give the output, right?
yeah, it will throw error.
Okay.
Now we will use for if.
Ma'am,
Yes.
this temp is inside Python, right? Or it is inside Jinja? Temp block, TMP.
This
Because
is Python file, okay? And I'm writing it with the help of Jinja. So
so
these things are interrelated. Don't consider it like Python is different and Jinja is different. This Python file understands that this is Jinja part and Jinja understands this is Python file. These are interrelated.
ma'am, but in Jinja, indentation is not important, right?
In HTML or in HTML or in case of Jinja, this indentation is not required, but we are giving the indentation for our understanding.
Okay, ma'am. Therefore, in our print output, there are spaces because they are printing in indentation as spaces,
Not
right?
indentation. This is my part of text. Okay, and here the it is printing the value at this line, but it is not printing anything before these lines. So these lines are remaining blank. Are you
Yes.
getting it? It is printing only third line. Before that, it is not printing anything, but it is part of my template. That's why it is giving spaces over there.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you explain the if condition here?
Now, initially, what happened when I wrote one over here? Okay, so I'm checking the condition whether one is present inside sub or not. So this is sub is my variable, and here I am passing the value over here. So basically it is taking this variable, the value of this variable. So we are checking if one is present in mad1 or not. So if this condition is true, it will print this statement. If this condition is false, it will go to else block and it will print this statement. Okay. In
Okay,
first
okay.
condition, my condition is true. One is present in subject mad1. Okay. Now when I run this, it will print the course is mad1. Now if I deliberately making this condition as false, now 2 is not present inside this. So now else block will run and it will give the output as the course is different. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now we will use for if. Again, I will take data. Okay, this is my data. Now,
Ma'am, in the
yes,
last one,
Like we
Hmm?
closed the if block with using end if. There's
Hmm.
no need to close the else block there.
No.
Okay.
So I want to check for item in data. I want to check if now I am checking for item in data. I am checking whether T is present in that item or not. If it is present, I want to print that item. Okay. So I am using both for as well as if condition inside this program. So what I want for item in data, for item represents these items. Okay. So it will take the item one by one, analyst, programmer, developer. Now inside this item, I want to check whether T is present inside this item or not. Okay. If T is present, it will print that data. If it is not present, it will not print that data. Okay. Now if I run this, now you will see it is giving me the output as analyst because T is present only in this data. That's why if condition will become true. So what is happening for item in data? Okay. So it will first go to this analyst. Now T is present in item. I'm checking whether T is present in item. So now T is present in analyst. That's why it is printing analyst. Okay. After that, this will be incremented. Now it will now the for will take the item programmer. Now T is present in programmer. No. Then again for loop will run. Now it will check for developer whether T is present in developer. No. Then it will end this end if and it will also end this for block. So it will only print this analyst. Okay. So this is how we use both for, that is loop, and condition in the problem. Okay, clear? Is it
Ma'am,
clear?
yes, ma'am. Logic is clear. This output
Yeah.
statement,
Hmm.
uh, we are using only Jinja needs to know only data, right? No other variables are there which are being passed. So maybe in the output statement, that bracket dot render bracket,
Hmm.
instead of writing data is equal to data, if we write only data, that should also work. If more
No,
than
it
two,
will
three
not work.
variables,
This data is coming from here that we are using inside my Jinja. But here, this data refers, compare it with this x equals to 8. Okay. This left hand side is the data that we are using inside the Jinja block. Okay. And this right hand side data refers to actual data that we are passing. That's why we need to pass the data like this.
Ma'am, what is x equal to 8?
X equals to 8 is an example that I'm giving you so that you can understand this better. Here x is variable and the value of x is 8. Okay. So this is how you can understand that. Sorry. Left hand side is the variable that we are using in Jinja and right hand side is the data that we are passing to it. Okay, clear?
so if we are passing two, let's say data and data one, so data is equal to data, comma, data one is equal to data one. We'll have to write in the render bracket.
Yeah. Here in this example, I think I have deleted it. While we were using this three variables, we were passing the values one by one, right? I have written name equals to name, place equals to place, profession equals to profession. Like that,
Okay.
you have to pass that data. If you don't pass that data, then it will simply keep the places as blank. Okay,
Understood.
clear till this point?
Ma'am, why do we have to keep the same names on both the sides?
It is not necessary. I am taking this because like for better understanding, so that if I should not miss anything. Here I am writing data, here I can write, say, data 1. I can write it like this also.
Okay, ma'am.
Doesn't matter, we don't have to take same name. But even if we forget sometimes, so it is better to take same data variable, same name, so that there is no confusion. We know, okay, this is data from here, this is data from here. But if you are getting confused, so I can write it like this also. Okay,
Okay.
I hope till this point it is clear. Now we will see some basic examples.
Ma'am,
Yes.
in VS Code, can we also do some settings in which we can, when we are typing percentage, it should also come like colons and sorry, other things. We have to use it twice, na? Every time we are opening it and closing it. Can we do that?
I don't think that is possible.
Okay.
Okay. Now we
Ma'am,
will see one example. Yes.
I have shared my code, but it is showing that it has name error of output. Can you see what's wrong in it, if
Okay.
possible?
Uh, okay. Let me stop sharing my screen. Share your screen.
Ma'am, I have shared it in the chat.
Show me your code. Share your screen. Yes, it's visible. Show me. Did you did pip install Jinja2? Have you done that? I asked you in the terminal, write pip install Jinja2. I think you have not done that. You are on mute. Are you saying something?
Yes, ma'am. I have done it. I have imported it. Sorry, pip install किया है ma'am.
एक बार फिर से टाइप करो टर्मिनल पे
Ma'am,
pip install Jinja2.
Ma'am, before this also it has worked for all the files. Only for this file only it is showing like this.
Jinja2. Okay, hit enter.
Yes.
Requirement is already satisfied. Okay, close this. Oh, it is not defined. or item in data, if t in item, and if and for mid underscore temp equals to temp output equals to mid underscore temp dot render data equals to data print output. Everything seems fine.
Code is
I
fine,
don't
but
know.
working. Code is working.
Okay, try changing the file name.
Here?
File name. No, file name.
Here.
Phi.py. Phi.py. File name.
Okay.
Delete the terminal and create new.
Still not working, right?
No,
Just
ma'am.
clear the terminal. Just try to run it in another terminal. Wait, one minute. Wait. Go to new terminal
New.
from that three dots. No, not there. Uh, uh Beside run. Yeah, new terminal. Go to new terminal.
Should I paste it here?
Yeah, you can paste it over here. Just you saved it. Okay. I think out it is giving the output. I guess. Just run it. It is giving the output right now. It gave the output as analyst. I can see. Just scroll down. It gave the output.
This is the output, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Ma'am, in this session, are you doing the lab assignment of week 3?
No, that will be taken tomorrow by TA. Okay. Now we will see this example. So in this example, both the steps are done in single line. Okay. This is my sort of text. Okay. Then after that, we are converting it into template. Okay. So these two steps are done in single line. So my text is numbers divisible by 2. Now here we are using for loop for n in range 0 to 10. This is step size. So it will take 0 to 4, 6, 8, these values. I want to print the value of n, and then we are ending the for loop. We want to print that data. Basically, I want to print the numbers from 0 to 10 with in the range 0 to 10, and step size is 2. So what will be the output? Tell me. What will be the output?
02468.
Yes. Now it will give output as 02468. Now note one thing. There is space in front of this placeholder. That's why it is taking this space. If I remove this space, it will give the output like this. Okay. Now if I write comma after this, it will take the output will take every value will take comma after it. Okay. Now we will see the next problem. Okay. Now we have seen Jinja.
Ma'am,
Now we will see. Yes, what happened?
ma'am, in the project session, when you were doing the project, you were having some README file and other files with the project. How to
Yeah.
connect that in the VS Code?
The first thing is you will have to clone that repository. So for that, what you will have to do, just create one folder, then open that folder in git bash command. first you will have to download git in your system. Then you will have to write git clone, then the url of that repository. Then it will create the folder inside that folder that you have created. Suppose you have created mad1 folder, and you have written the command git clone and the url of that repository that I have shared. So it will create one more folder inside the mad1 folder. After that, what you will have to do, once you get this folder, then you will have to open git bash inside this newly generated folder, and you will have to write, I guess, git pull url. So that will incorporate all the changes that I will make to the file. Okay, so first thing is you will have to create one folder, open git bash command, write git clone and the url of that repository that I have shared. Okay.
We don't have to write a URL of our own repository.
No, why do you want that? You want my code, right?
No, I mean I'm asking like you were doing that project, so you were having
Okay,
README files.
you are asking how to
Yes.
push your data.
Yes.
For that, you will have to use git commands. I have already shared the videos and git tracker document with you. Just follow that.
Those are having some extra things.
So for that, you will have to first add your files. So you have created files on the. There are two things. You will have to first connect your VS Code folder, that is folder that you are working on, with the GitHub. After that, you will have to push your code. So for that, you will have to first add the origin. Let me check the commands. The first thing that you will have to do is git remote add origin. I will type in the space over here. Just 1 second. The first thing that you will have to do is, first you will have to create repository on the GitHub. That you can do, right? Create a repository. After that, what you will have to do, you will have to connect your this folder, VS Code folder, sorry, I mean the local folder, to the GitHub repository. So for that, you will have to do git remote add origin, then URL of your repository. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
After that, you will have to do git push origin master. It will push your code to the initial state of code to the GitHub. Okay. After that, what you can do while working on your files, then you will be adding more files. So you will have to do git add hyphen a. So it will add all the files to the staging area. This you will have to use this command in with the help of git bash terminal. Okay, we will do git add hyphen a. So it will add all the files to the staging area. After that, you will have to write git commit, then hyphen m. Inside this, you will have to give some git commit message, like any git commit message. Okay. After that, once you do this, you will have to write git push origin. You will have to write it like this. If this master thing is not working, write main over there. Okay, so you will have to use these commands. Now let me just take this
Last
example.
one.
It's too late. Yeah.
Last one will be git push origin min.
Yeah, if this master thing is not working, so you will have to write main at this part.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, now let me go through these problems. Okay, we have seen this problem.
Ma'am,
So I
one
was
small
talking about
request.
string.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ma'am, kindly request project students to take project questions in project sessions. Otherwise, we won't be able to finish mad one things, ma'am. Because
Yeah, sure.
I think we are 65 people. If three people ask project questions, session is gone, ma'am. So
Yeah, I will keep
I
that in
think there
mind.
are
Okay.
dedicated questions. Not to you, ma'am. You have to answer. We know that, but just I request project students, in fact, to maintain some segregation between normal mad one and
Yeah.
project. So
Okay.
kindly, fellow students, please understand this is not. I'm not barging into anything. Thank you.
Okay. So we have seen Jinja templating. There is inbuilt module in Python. This is string module that is also used for templating. Okay. Now the first step is to import template. So for that we will write from string import template. Okay. After that we will convert it into template. So this is also similar only. So this is my sort of text. Okay. After that we are converting it into template. After that, in case of Jinja, we are rendering it with information. For that, we are using render function. But in case of string, we will use substitute. Also, in case of Jinja, we were using double curly braces for the variable. Correct? But in case of string, we are using this dollar symbol. So, in case of Jinja, we are using double curly braces for the variable. In case of string, we are using this dollar symbol. In case of Jinja, we are using render function to render the information. In case of string, we will use substitute function. Okay. Now, what I said, while if we are not passing the values to the variable, it does not throw error. If value is not passed, it will keep it as blank. But in case of Jinja, if you don't pass the value, it throws error. Okay, we will see that. Let me first comment this. Okay, so now this is my piece of text. After that I converted it into template. Okay, after that I'm rendering it with data, but here I'm using the function as substitute. After that so this is my time dot substitute. I'm passing the data, so I have two variables, this today and tomorrow. Okay, so I'm giving the value as today equals to Monday, tomorrow equals to Tuesday. Okay, then I'm printing the output. Now we will see. Let me save this file. And if I run this file, you will see it is giving me the output as today is Monday and tomorrow is Tuesday. Similar to that of what we have seen in Jinja, right? Now, suppose if I don't pass the value, let me comment this. Now, suppose here I have two variables, but I'm passing value to only this today variable. So, you will see it will throw error. It will throw error as key error tomorrow. Okay, so this is the basic difference between string and Jinja. To avoid this, I think we can use substitute function. Let me just try.
Yeah, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. How this key error tomorrow came wrong? Just I want to know that
Yeah, I will
before
show
doing
you.
this.
Here, here we have two variables, today and tomorrow, right? Correct? But we are
Yes.
passing the value only for today variable. In case of Jinja, it was keeping it as blank, it was not throwing error. But if you, let me just remove this. Okay, so this is my template. It has two variables, today and tomorrow. How I recognize it? Because it has dollar symbol in front of the variable. Okay, so I have two variables, today and tomorrow. Okay, now here in this line I am passing value to only one variable. Okay, now when I run this, it is throwing the error as key error. Error for what? The variable tomorrow, because I am not passing the value to this variable. That's why it is throwing key error. Clear? Now I think if we use this save substitute function, it should not throw error.
किधर भेजा?
Okay, so if we use this save underscore substitute
नहीं, इधर
function,
था मैं.
so here it is
शायद
taking
इधर है,
today is
उस पे नहीं लगाया होता।
someone is on unmute.
ऑफिस वाला इधर है।
Okay, so if we use the save substitute function, what it does, in I have given the value for today variable, so it will take the value for today variable, and for this tomorrow variable it will print it as it is. Okay, this is the use of save underscore substitute function. If we use this function, it will simply print the second variable as it is and it will not throw error. Okay, so this is regarding string templating. Now we will see more examples. This is another example. Here also we are doing two steps in one step. This is my piece of text. Okay, then I am converting it into template. Then I am rendering it with data and I am printing the output. Okay, now here I am using for loop. So inside this for loop, I am writing for n in range 1 to 15. What I want to do, I am doing this modular division and then we are ending the for loop. So basically we are printing the remainder of all the values in the range 1 to 15 when divided by 3. Okay, so what should be the output? Anyone? What will be the output?
3, 6, 9, 12.
This is modular division. It will print all the remainders. When 1 divided by 3, what will be the remainder?
Yes.
Generally 1
One.
and 2 will be there.
1 and 2 will be there.
So we will see the output.
1 2
Now,
0 will be there.
yeah. So it is giving output as 1 to 0, 1 to 0, 1 to 0. Okay. Okay. Now we will see more example.
Ma'am, just a
Okay, let me
query.
just go to next.
When you
Yes.
imported string is already inbuilt in Python, no? So all the
Yeah.
string functions it would fetch, right?
Yeah.
Generally, what we do on string.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Now
that was
let me go to the document. Yeah. Now tell me, anybody can answer this question? Can anybody answer this question? Which of the following Jinja templates correctly implements a simple if-else statement? What will be the right answer? Just take a look at this problem.
Option C.
Option C.
Okay.
Option D. Option C.
Option
Option C.
C.
Here we are not using percentage sign. Here it is not, end if is not written. Here only end is written. That's why option C is correct. Here everything is written perfectly. Okay. Now,
Ma'am, what you have taught now till this till now is enough for
hmm,
week 3 theory part. I'm saying.
yeah, it is enough to understand Jinja. Just give me a minute.
Thank you.
Now, PyHTML is also there. It is simple only. We will see one problem on PyHTML as well. Okay. Now, we have this users list. Inside this list, we have 3 dictionaries. Okay. Consider the following users list. An ordered HTML list is to be created for users where every list item should have a clickable name attribute. Now, what do you understand by this clickable name? What do you understand by this that it should be clickable? Basically, it
it
will be
should be
anchor
link.
tags, right? It will be anchor tags. Every list item should have a clickable name attribute rendering to the endpoint show underscore users id where just don't worry about this endpoint, just focus on what is written for that endpoint. Okay, so we want clickable name attribute. Okay, these are the name attributes. So we want user1 user2 user3 as clickable, and after that we are given this endpoint. In this endpoint here This ID is where ID is the ID attribute of the same user dictionary. So this is my ID attribute. This is my name attribute. Basically what I want the text to be displayed as this usernames, and it should be clickable. Okay, first of all, it should be clickable, which means we are using anchor tags. And second thing, it is taking the attribute as name. So user1, user2, user3, this should be displayed at this point. Okay, and now in my endpoint I have ID. This ID is the ID attribute of the dictionary, which means it should print 1, 2 and 3. Till this point, is it clear?
Ma'am, could you a
Yes.
little bit? Can you zoom little bit, ma'am?
Is it fine? Better?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Question is clear to everyone? So we want this user1, user2, user3, these names as clickable. So obviously it will be the anchor text. Okay, this is my anchor tag. Whatever you write between this angle brackets, this text will be displayed, and whatever you write inside this, it will be the href, that is the link for that. Okay, so we are using this endpoint. So I want user1, user2,
Ma'am,
user3
here
over
li,
this point.
ma'am, hi
Yes,
li stand here
li is the
li
tag for
stand for
ordered
in
list.
which okay.
We have seen that earlier, right? Yes. Please let me just explain this once. After that I will take doubts. Okay, let me just explain this. So what I want this usernames to be clickable. So here it should display the username, and here this ID, what said this ID is the ID attribute of the same user dictionary. So at this point it should display the values as 1, 2, 3. Okay, I hope till this point it is clear. Now I think the question is clear to everyone. Okay, now an ordered HTML list is to be generated for users where every list item should have a clickable name attribute redirecting to the endpoint slash show underscore users ID, where ID is the ID attribute of the same user dictionary. The correct way of doing it with Jinja and HTML is, so we have to check what are the options correct for implementing this. Okay, now we will see the first option. So this is basically we want to generate ordered list. How do we generate ordered list? How do we create ordered list? We write,
We use li.
OL tag.
we use tag.
OL tag.
Inside this we use li tag. Okay, this is how we create, this is how we create ordered list. Okay, now
Yes.
suppose if I have three items, now we will go to this for loop. Now suppose we have three items. Let me write it like this. Let me rearrange this. Now suppose this is my for loop. This text can be anything. We have seen earlier, right? In the previous example, we have taken HTML text. Okay. Now this HTML text can be anything. It can be ordered list as well. Okay. So I can write li over here in place of h1. Here I can write it as ol tag. And here I can write it as li. I can write it like this. Okay. So now this is how, this is HTML text. Okay. Now in case of for, what we have seen while we were using for loop, it was printing this analyst, programmer and developer, it was printing all these three items. Okay, so did I write item three times? No, the for loop was running, so in every line it was printing that item. Similarly, now add from this concept and from this concept, I want to generate these three li items. So I can write for item in data. I can write it like this. Okay, suppose here this is HTML, but suppose I can also write it like this. For say item in data, I will write say print item. Okay, so what it will do, it will print that item for all the possible values in data. So I am writing li only once, but this for loop is running. So what will happen? First time this for loop will run. After that, it will print all this thing. Again, after this, it will take another data. Again, it will take the second value. After that, again it will take the third value. It will go to the third item, and it will print it like this. Okay, so with the help of for loop, I don't need to write it thrice. I only need to write it once only. Okay, based on this concept, we are solving this problem. Okay, so here you will see, I want to generate the list of three items. Initially I'm using this ordered list. Okay, now, with the help of for loop, it will print this data thrice. Okay, we have seen that it will print the data thrice. So I only need to write it once. So what will happen? So I want, so basically here it is written, I want clickable name. So we are using this anchor tag. Okay, till this point it should be clear to everyone. So we need to use
Yes.
anchor tag, and you will see in every problem, anchor tag is there. Anchor tag is present in each and every problem. Okay, now what should be the anchor text? The anchor text is the one which gets displayed. Okay, so now inside this I want the name user1, user2, user3. Okay, now what is written for user in users? What I am doing here, I am writing user.id. Now if you write it like this, what does it mean? First of all, it will go to the first dictionary. We have three items in the dictionary, right? Now it will go to the first dictionary. Now tell me, what is the value of user.id for the first loop?
One.
What this will give user.id? It will give 1. This is dictionary, right? In dictionary, if you write user.id,
And
this is
syntax is wrong.
basically, so syntax is correct only. Why it is wrong?
No, ma'am. We use brackets.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
we use user and ID inside the brackets, like
yes, ma'am.
square
Dot ID
brackets.
is, I
There are
think.
two ways of writing it. You can also write it like this, or you can also write it like this. Both are correct.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So if you
And
write
S is not
user.id,
present.
what happened? This user is coming from this user. For user in users, users is my list. Inside this list, I have this dictionary. So it is fetching the first element. Inside this user, this is my users list. Inside this users, I have three elements. Okay, if I'm writing for user in users, it will go to the first element. Now my first element is dictionary. So this user is referring to this element. You can consider as user is this first dictionary. After that, what I'm writing, user.id. So id is the key. So it will take the value as 1. After that, I'm writing user.name. So here the key is name. So user dot, just focus on this first dictionary. What will be user.name? User.name will give user underscore 1. Okay. Then again loop will run. Now it will go to the second dictionary. Now inside this second dictionary, what is the name of the second dictionary? User. Now user.id will give the value 2. Okay. Now user.name will give the value user underscore 2. Similarly, it will run for this third element. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So first option is correct. Now we will see the second option. Now what we are doing, what I said, you can write it user.id, or you can also write it like this. Square bracket, inside that you can write the key value. So both these options are similar, only differentiating in this part. In both ways you can write it, you can access the elements of dictionary. So now both these options are correct. Now we will see the third option. So what is written over here? Now here, note one thing, here it is written as users. Now tell me, what is the value of users under users in square bracket 0? What is this value? What it will give me?
First list.
The first
ID
Dictionary.
first.
dictionary, first
Full
dictionary.
list.
First
First
dictionary, right?
dictionary.
Now the first dictionary, if I write it dot id, what it will give me? This is id is key, so it will give me value as 1. Correct? So here also again it is taking value as 1. Similarly, users 0 dot name. User 0 meaning this element. Okay. Now dot name, here is my name. So dot name, that is key value, it will give me the value as user underscore 1. So for option 3 also, you will see we are not using for loop over here. That's why it is having 3 li elements. So for option 3 C also, it will give me the same output. Now we will see the D option. So inside this D option, we are using for loop, and here it is it user dot name is fine. We have seen that. Here it is written as for user in users user dot name, so it is fine. But here it is written as user dot name in square bracket. It is written as -1. Can anyone tell me what will be this value? If I go to this first dictionary, okay, just focus on this first dictionary. What is this value? User dot name -1. What is this value?
Go to the
Tell me from
reverse,
this.
reverse
One, ma'am.
One.
element,
1.
man.
How it is coming as
Ma'am,
1?
it will be one.
If you focus, if you
Three,
focus
ma'am.
on
Three.
this element, this u is at 0 index, s is as first index. Similarly, this 1 is at -1 index. So it will take the value as, so in this option also it will take value as 1, 2 and 3. That's why all the options are correct. Okay. I
Ma'am,
don't know
can you
whether you
explain
have
the last one?
solved this problem. Okay. So tell me the value. What is this value? User dot name is fine. Okay. We have already seen this user dot name. But
Explain it
here it is
again,
given
ma'am.
as user dot name. What?
-1, explain it again, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Here it is written as user dot name -1. So what does this refer? First, we are going to this dictionary. User dot name refers to, user dot name will refer to this value. But I have written user dot name in the square bracket. I have written -1. So it will take the -1 index value of this name. So here, if you focus on this value, this is the 0 index value. This is the first index value. Similarly, this 1 is at -1 index value. So it will take the values as 1, 2 and 3. Okay, clear? You can go through this session again. I think then you will understand it better. This is basically how to access the dictionary. That the problem is regarding that only. Okay. Now we will
Ma'am,
see more problem.
if we are using
Yes.
minus, then it should be in reverse now. Why it is taking from 0 to 2? That's
For
my
each, we are running the loop, right? We are running the loop. Just focus on this. For what we are doing, for user in users, user dot name -1. So it refers to this value, right? Then again loop is
okay.
running. Then again similarly it is taking this value too. That's how it's working.
It is
Maybe you
So
mentioned.
can
if
just
if
type it.
we take -2, then it will start from ID2. Is my
It will take
understanding?
underscore. It will take
Okay,
underscore.
okay,
You are
okay,
here what is written? Just focus over here. It is user dot name, not user dot ID. It is user dot name, and here it is taking the value as -1 index of this name value. Are you aware of this indexing?
yes, yes, ma'am. I
Yeah.
thought
So we
we
have
are
to take the
okay,
-1 index value of this name. So here it is 1. Okay. Now we will
okay,
see the
ma'am.
next problem. Okay, so it is regarding.
Ma'am, just a query. This dictionary with dot, it is not being accessible, ma'am. I tried it in Python for a simple other dictionary. So,
It should be
like user
accessible.
dot id. No, I tried, ma'am. I simply created just a is equal to, I mean, a colon 1 and b colon 2. Now a is the first attribute of the dictionary. So I tried
Hmm.
d dot a. It's not printing the first attribute. It's saying the dictionary has no attribute called a.
Ma'am, is
I
this
think then it is
specific
working in case of Jinja.
Jinja? Yeah, that's what I was
Just
thinking. Yeah, yeah, maybe it's
yeah,
Jinja specific cut
yeah,
syntax.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe it
Okay.
is
So
specific to
the
Jinja. Okay, but it should work over here.
oh, okay. So
Okay.
these lines are to be written in the HTML file, ma'am, or in the Python file, which has imported Jinja. The options, the answers which are there.
You can run this in
In
Python file.
Python, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So even HTML will not understand that, no? Only the Python which has imported Jinja will understand all these options.
HTML
Ma'am,
will
but
also understand this, but we will see that later.
Okay.
ma'am, option C, but I think it will be an HTML file only, not in Python file. Or it can be used as a part of a template, then it is okay. Otherwise, I don't think it will work in
Yeah,
Python.
here we will you will have to use it what like in temp, inside the temp you will have to use it. Then it will generate the output accordingly. Then you have to see the
Yeah, in
rendered
fact,
output.
all options inside
Yeah,
template only we'll have to use it because it's all ordered
yeah.
list.
So you will have to write it in temp. Then you will get the output. Then you will have to render that. So basically, it is just asking. That's why it is written as with Jinja and HTML. So what you will have to do, you will have to first write it inside the temp. Okay, and if you want to see the rendered output, then you have to copy that data and then put to another HTML file, then render it. Okay, but if you simply want to see the HTML output, you can see that in the terminal. Okay, now we will see next problem. Okay, this is regarding the command line inputs. I hope you have seen that tutorial. So basically, what happens if we write import sys, and if we give the Python, if we write the input like this in the terminal. So basically, what it does, if I am writing sys.rgv, so basically what it does, it creates a list of all the command line inputs. Okay, so here, for example, these are my two files, home.py and hello.py. So here I have written, in my terminal, I have written Python home.py, hello.py, Mithun Saurav. So basically, what this sys.rgv will do, sys.rgv creates a list of all the command line arguments. So inside the list, it will have the values as home.py, hello.py, Mithun, and Saurav. Okay, this is command line arguments. Now we will see this problem. So I have two files, home.py and hello.py. I have imported sys. Okay. Now inside this I have written import hello. Then I'm printing hello sys.rgv1. Okay. So what I said, this sys.rgv will be list of all these variables. So now it will have the variable as it will, the list item will be home.py, hello.py, Mithun, and Saurav. So this is the zero index value for that list. This is the first index value for that list. This is second, and this is third index value. Okay, for list, because these are all the elements of the sys.rgv list. So this is at zeroth index home.py. This is all at first index. So if it is written as sys.rgv1, it will refer to the value hello.py. If it is written sys.rgv0, it will refer to the value home.py. Okay. Now when you run this, okay, just 1 minute. Okay, now when you run this like this, oh shit, and when you hit enter, okay, so now what is happened, first of all I have written home.py, so it will first run this file. So if I go to home.py, what is written in home.py? Now inside this home.py I am importing hello. So this file will be run step by step. Okay, so this is my first line. After that, in second line, this will run. So it will first run hello.py file. Now what is written in hello.py file? Print hello, then space sys.rgv0. What I said, sys.rgv0 is this home.py. That's why it is printing hello home.py. After that, it will run this hello.py. Now what is written, oh like sorry, so it will first run this home.py. So inside this home.py we have this file, we have done import hello. So it will first run this hello.py file. So it will write hello home.py. After that it will run, after that it will run hello sys.rgb1 is hello.py, it will run hello.py. That's why we are getting the output as hello home.py and hello.py. Okay. So basically sys.rgb will create a list of all these arguments. Okay, this will be the zeroth. If it is separated by space, it will consider this as first element of the list. This will be second element of list. Mithun will be third element of list and Saurav will be fourth element of list. Okay. I hope till this point it is clear. Now we will see the next problem. Now we will
Ma'am,
see
this
this problem. It is
ma'am,
again
this
based on,
excuse me, ma'am.
yeah,
The previous one, it has to be
yeah.
hello.py and hello home.py. How it came like that? Because I mean, I'm not looking at the code that you worked out. I'm just looking at the question as it is. Like,
Yeah.
since home.py is first
So it
called
will
and then
first run
hello.
home.py. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
But inside this home.py, we are importing this hello module. Hello.py is imported inside this file.
Okay,
That's
okay,
why
okay.
this
Okay,
file
that
will
way.
run first.
Okay, got
Okay.
it, got it, got it.
Now we will see this problem. Now again, here inside these arguments I am writing sys.rgv. So now these arguments will be a list of all the command line inputs. So here we are using this Python to run the file. Okay. So after this Python, whatever is coming will be the elements of the list sys.rgv. So now what I'm writing, arguments equals to sys.rgv. So these arguments will have the value, say module underscore 0.py, mad 1. Okay. uh, so when it is separated by spaces, it will consider it as different elements. So the first element will be module underscore 0.py. After that we have space. So it will consider mad as second element. After that we have space. So it will consider 1 as third element. I think till this point it is clear. Okay. Now what is given, we have this courses dictionary. Inside this we have different values, different key value pairs. Okay. Now we have this definition operate argument underscore 1. This variable will store the value arguments 1. Now what is arguments 1? 1 means index. So the second element of this list. What will be the second element of this list? Suppose I am taking this option. So what I said, this module underscore 0.py will be the first element. First element will be at 0th index. So this mad will be the first index value. Similarly, if I take this option, module underscore 0.py will be the 0th index element. This will be at index 1. Okay, I hope this is clear regarding what I'm talking about indexes. Now, this arguments 1, it is written like this, which means the first index value of this list. So it will be, in first option it will be mad, in second option it will be mad 2, in third option it will be bdm, and in fourth option it will be syscom. Is it clear? Okay. Now what
Yes.
we are doing, we are taking another variable argument underscore 2, which is storing courses, and inside this we are writing arg underscore 1. So here we have arg underscore 1 stores the first index value. So here if I'm writing arg underscore 2, so it is equal to courses. Now it will take the value as mad. So here this is the key. Now if I write a key inside this is my dictionary. If I am writing key inside it, it will give me the value. Okay. Now in the what I want, this is my okay, after that I'm returning f string. The function output is, we are printing the length of argument 1 variable plus argument 2 variable. Okay. That is arg underscore 1 plus arg underscore 2. Now, the above file will yield the output as, the function output is 9 for which of the following command line inputs. So, I want this output as 9. The length should be 9. Okay. So, we will check the first option. So, in first option, what I said, these arguments will be, it is equals to sys.rgb. So, it will be list of all these command line inputs. So, in first option, the arguments 1 will be this value, but it is mad. So nothing is matching with this mad, because here it is written as mad 1. Note one thing, inside this courses it is written as mad 1, but inside this arguments 1, This value is mad because after mad we have space. So it is taking the first element, the first index element of argument will be mad and not mad1. Okay. So and this value is not present in any of the key for dictionary. So that's why it will throw error. Now we will see the second option. In second option, what we have the first element of arguments list, that is first index element as mat2. Now we have the value of mat2, okay, that is 2003. So now we will calculate the length. So here we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay. So second option number B is correct. Similarly, we will check for BDM. Now for BDM, the value is 205. So the total length is 6. So the answer will not come as 9. Now we will check for the last option, that is syscom. The value of so the first index, what I said, is syscom, the first index element of arguments list. So also the value is available for syscom. Now we calculate the length. Here it is 3, here it is 6, again 9. So option number B and D will be correct. Okay. Now I will show you, or maybe it is taking too much time. Okay, again, but still I will show you.
Ma'am, we are not counting from 0.
What?
We are not counting
From
here.
Python? Python is, this is used to run the module. Okay, so you will have to count after Python.
Okay.
Okay. So suppose if I use this, my module name is p8.py, so I have to change it. If I run this, so you will see it is giving me the error because the courses are argument 1. There is no value present for mad. This is mad space 1. But here we are giving inside the command line inputs. What I said, that here it will take, here there is space after mad. So it will take, consider this as 3 different elements. Okay, that's why it is, and there is no value present for mad. That's why it is throwing error. Then similarly you can run for other options. Okay, I will move to the next problem. I hope this is clear. Now we will see one more problem. Okay. Consider the following Python code snippet, code.py. So here also we are, so here we are using Jinja as well as command line arguments. Okay. So import says from Jinja2 import template variables equal vars equals to sys.rgb. This vars variable is storing the list of all the arguments. Then we have this dictionary course underscore technologies. Inside this dictionary we have these values. Okay. Then this is my piece of text. This course focuses on technology. Then I am converting it into template. After that, what I have, this is the condition in Python. If length of variables, if length of vars is greater than 2 and vars 2 in course.technologies, course underscore technologies, course equals to vars 1, technology equals to course underscore technology course, and print template dot render technology equals to technology. If this condition is true, it will render it. If this condition is false, it will print please specify a valid course name. Okay. So which of the following will be the correct command line input to the terminal to get the output? This course focuses on backend development. Okay. So first thing, we have these 4 options. Okay. Now what I said, everything after Python will be the part of this list of will be the part of this list sys.rgb. Now in first case sys.rgb, we have these 3 elements code.py, course, Python. So length of variables is greater than 2. So it is same for all the four options because we have three elements over here. Okay, so it is true for all the options. Now after that, what we have to check, where's 2 in course underscore technology. So we have to check whether where's 2 is present in this dictionary or not. So if we check it like this, it will look for the keys. Now what should be the key? It should be either Python or JavaScript. Okay. Now in the starting three options, you will see where's 2 meaning this is zeroth index, first index and second index. So where's 2, so we have to check for this value. So Python is present. So what we want, it should be either Python or JavaScript. So Python is present in first option, Python is present in third option, JavaScript is present in second option, but we don't have backend. So this option is eliminated. Now we will have to see in these three options. Now what is written? So up to this point we have reached. Now we have to take the course variable is taking value vars1. Now what will be vars1? Vars1 will be this value. What I said, this is zero index value. This is first index value. Now I have written course equals to vars1. So it will take the value as course Python. Now if I write it like this, similarly what we have seen earlier, if I write course equals to vars1, so in this case it will take vars equals to course. Do we have any value defined for this?
No.
So after that, okay, after that I'm taking vars1. So in first case it will take course equals to course. After that, I am taking this variable technology. Inside this technology, what I am checking, course underscore technologies. Inside this square bracket, I am taking course. Now it will search for the value. Now inside this course, first for the first option, it is taking value as course. Do we have any key with name course? No. So for this option, it will throw error because we don't have any key with name course. Now we will check for the second option. In option number B, we have this key as Python. Okay. So we have the key as Python. After that, what is happening? It will print template.render technology equals to technology. Now for Python, if I'm writing it like this, course underscore technologies Python is my key. So this technology will take the value as backend. Correct? In third option also, the vars1 value is Python. So it will go over here as Python. Now course underscore technology Python will give the value as backend. So for option B and C, it will give me the output as this course focuses on backend development. Is it clear? When we run this, okay. So here my module name is p9.py. So we will see for the first option. I think you can do this on your own, okay? I will just share this code with you. After this, we will see next problem.
What is the answer, ma'am, to the previous question?
B and C.
Okay.
We have seen this problem. I will share this code with you so that you can practice. Okay. So option B and C were correct for this question. We have also seen this problem. Now there is something called as filters in Jinja. And we have methods or functions in Python. Similarly, we have these functions or methods in Jinja. So I will share you the documentation. If you write Jinja, okay, this is giving me the documentation. If you go to this document, okay, we will find the list of filters. Okay, these are the list of built-in filters. You don't have to remember everything, but you can check for the basic filters like length function, group by. We will see group by and length in the next session. Okay, group by, length, reject, and upper, like this. So these basic filters you can remember. So filters are just like functions or methods in Python. Okay. Let me go to this question.
Where
So
is
what
this
is written
document,
from?
ma'am?
This is the documentation for Jinja. I will just paste it over here. This is Jinja documentation. You can just refer this. Okay, now we will see this problem. Again, we have this temp. Inside this, we have this series for num in sequence, reject odd. Then we have to print num plus 2 and for. So basically what, then we have sequence as 6, 5, this is list which has value 6, 5, 71, 13, 30, 22. Okay. After that, we are converting it into template and rendering it with the data. Okay. Now, basically, what this odd will do, this odd will reject all the odd values. Okay. So, first thing, this will run, and this is pipe symbol. So, this information will bypass over here. Okay. So, in first, for num in sequence, this num denotes every number in the sequence. Okay. So, it will first go to 6. After that, it will go to this filter and it will check whether this value is odd or even. If this value is odd, it will reject that value. After that, it will move to the next value. Now, next value, first value is even. So, it will print num plus 2. Okay. So, if the value is 6, if we add 2, it will print 8. Now, it will check for the second value. Second value is odd, so it will reject that value. Then similarly, this value is odd, it will reject this value. Similarly for this value, similarly for 30. Now 30 is even number, so 30 plus 2 will give 32. After that, the value is even. Now we will add 2 to it, so it will give 24. So the value, so the answer for this option, the answer for this question will be 8, 32, 24. It will print this value. Okay. So let me just run this. I think I
So
have taken this code.
odd is a built-in keyword for Jinja.
Yeah, it is built-in filter for in Jinja. Okay, I think I have not written it over here. I will share this code. Just copy this code and run it. So you will get output as 832 24. Okay, I think I have covered all the problems for here from here.
Ma'am, this document will be available in supplementary contents.
Yeah, I will share this under supplementary contents.
Okay.
Okay,
Can we
so the
see this?
last problem. Yeah, tell me.
Can we see this video again? Is it recorded?
Yeah, it is available on YouTube. It will be
Okay,
available on YouTube after this session.
okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now there is something called as PyHTML. So just we will see this problem first. Which of the following options will generate the HTML code equivalent to the below HTML code? Okay. So here what I have, this is my head tag. Inside this head tag, I have title, which has value my title. Now inside the body, we have one division. Okay. I have this division. Inside this division, I have one more division. Now inside the division, I have this h2 tag. Okay, which has value inside title. After that, I have paragraph, which has value some text in paragraph. Okay, this is the structure. I have a title with value my title. In body, I have division. Inside that division, we have division, and inside that division, we have h2. Okay, now we will see the first problem. So there is something called as PyHTML, which generates HTML programmatically. Okay, so here I have written import PyHTML as h. This is alias name. So if you write t equals to h.html, so it refers to this line. It will create this doc type HTML, and it will create these HTML elements. That is this HTML tags. Okay. Now after that, inside that, what we have two elements. This head element and this body element. Okay, these are basic two elements inside my HTML tag. So we write it like this: h dot head. Okay, this one part. Then we write comma h dot body part. Okay, now first thing is I am writing h.html. Then inside the round bracket, I have two elements. First element is head part. So we will write it like this. Then separated by comma. Then we have this body part till this point. Okay. Now inside this h dot head, we have title. So we will have to write h dot title. Now the value is my title. So you will have to write it like this. Okay. Now till this point, head part is done. Now we will come to the body part. Now inside the body part, what we have division. So this is my first division. Now if I write another bracket after this, so it will go one step inside this division. So here what I have inside this division, I have this one more division. So if you write it like this, so it will go inside this division. Okay, again we are writing it like this. Okay, so it will go inside this division. So what is there? I have this first division. Inside this I have one more division. Inside this I have h.h2, and inside that h2 we have inside title as text, which is same as that of this. Okay, now after this, if you want to go to second element, so you have to type comma. Okay, basically I have these two elements inside my body part. This is this is first element, this is second element. And how to decide how to give comma? So basically if you see, I have these two elements. This is my first bigger element. Okay, then inside this division I have this p. So I have written inside this division, I have written h dot div, then I have h dot h2. So if I am writing comma over here, so this is my first element inside the division. Okay, if I am writing comma over here, this will be the part of this division. Okay, after that, what I have, so first thing is inside this division, so this is my outer division. Inside my outer division, I have two elements. This first division element, then paragraph element. So how to write it like this? So first I will write h dot div. Okay, then inside this we have bracket. Now we have two elements. So first element is this h dot div till this point. So you can see this is inside title bracket, then h dot h2 bracket. Okay, separated by comma. Then this is second element of outer division. Okay, now this paragraph for h dot p, the bracket is ending over here. There is one more bracket denoting that h dot div is closed. This outer division is also closed. Okay, after that we have this bracket for h dot body, and after this we have this bracket for h dot html. This is how you write code in PyHTML. After that you have to write print t dot render, so it will render this output, this HTML. Okay, so we will see this. Okay, when written it like this, and when you run, see it is generating the HTML. So this is my main division. Inside this division I have this division. Okay, then I have this h2 tag and some paragraph. Okay, I think this is
What is
wrong one. It
PyHTML?
should be this one. What?
What is PyHTML?
Basically it is module which generates HTML programmatically. Okay, this is the correct option. This is that A option. When you run this, you will see I have this outer division. Inside this outer division I have this inner division which holds tag h2. Then there is second element paragraph. Okay. So first option is correct. Now if you go to second option, it is using Jinja. Okay. So we have this in temp underscore well, we have this dictionary which stores different key value pairs. Okay. So the zero key has value division h2 inside title h2 division. Then one key has value this. Then second key has value this. Okay. Now we are writing template equals to this doc type HTML head. So if I'm writing val1 and I'm rendering it with this data dictionary, so at this point, what is the value of val1? Title. So title is coming in head part. Okay. After this, I'm writing val0. So val0 will be this division. Okay. So inside this division, I have h2. After that, val2 will take this value, that is paragraph. So again, it will give me the correct output because it is according to this HTML only. So this will also give correct output. We will see that. This one. If you run this, see it is generating the correct output. Okay, now we will see the third option. Now note one thing. Inside this third option, what is the difference between the second option and third option? Note one thing, what I wrote. Inside this h dot division, we have inside this outer h dot division, we had two elements. This h dot div element, then separated by comma, this paragraph element. Okay, this is how you write. This is the correct way. But here in C option, you will see it is right. We are writing it like this, and we are not writing h dot p over here. So this will be the incorrect option. Okay, you can simply copy this and try running this. So you will get the difference. Okay, now in the fourth option, everything is correct, but here you will see the content is wrong. Here it is written as paragraph, and here it is written as this is content. So this is the content inside the variables is wrong. That's why option number 4 is wrong. So the correct option is option number A and B. Okay. That's all for today's session. I hope everything is clear to you. Just go through this session again if you have any doubts. I hope after that it will be cleared. Okay. In next session, we will see. In next session, we will see one problem statement regarding this Jinja only. Then it will be more clear to you. I hope today's session was useful to you and you got the basic idea of Jinja, right?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I can see.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, just go through this session again so you will have a better understanding of it. Okay.
Ma'am, can
Thanks
you
all for
send the
joining.
link for the
What?
week 1 and 2 link of this live class?
It is. Wait, I will show you. If you go to the, I'm still sharing. Okay. If you go to the Madhavan channel, if you go to the Madhavan channel, you will find something as playlist. So here you will find Madhavan Jan 25 theory. If
Okay.
you go to this playlist, you will find all the sessions. You will
Okay.
find all the sessions over here. Okay. I will
Okay.
just share that playlist also.
Okay. Thank you.
I will share this link.
Ma'am, ma'am,
Yes.
do we have to practice this kind of questions more?
Yeah, if you want better understanding, you should practice such questions because you will find such questions in your quiz. These are important. Whatever I have discussed today covers all the concepts. These are basically quiz questions. Okay, that's all for today's session. Thanks everyone for joining. I will just add the document inside the supplementary contents, and I will also add the link for this session in calendar as well as YouTube. Okay. Thanks
Thank you,
everyone
ma'am.
for
Thank you so
joining.
much. Yeah.
I will close
Thank
the
you, ma'am.
session.
Ma'am,
Yes.
till when we have to submit our app dev one project?
You can submit till 30th March.
Okay. So we have to start from right now
Yes.
onwards. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. I'm
Thank,
ending the
thank you,
call.
ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Ma'am,